All right, welcome to Roleplay Cafe. I am Jason with Dell and Todd, and we are playing my game that I've finished in this last year called Man v Beast. It can be found on Lulu for $9.99 in this little paperback. So this is going to be hard stop. 90 minutes is if we don't resolve it, it ends. It's resolved. We move on. We don't worry about how it's resolved. And we're going to play. So the time is about 12,500 years ago, in a time before the Great Calamity that would have reset all of the globe's civilizations and cultures, a time before the famed Atlantis or the continent of Muir was lost. Maybe so there is legend, there is rumor of these great continents, these great civilizations. However, our trusty heroes are not from this place. They are from a small island, and their chief asked them 43 days ago. He handpicked these warriors and refitted a cargo ship for a long sea voyage and explained that they needed to set sail west and look for their ancestors and this great continent that is supposedly rich with treasure. And you have been 43 days on the sea with your crew of all of you, 8 of you in total. Revan, you will tell us a little bit about your character right now as we are seeing for the first time on the horizon. Malok, one of your crew, spots what appears to be jutting out of the ocean, a giant mountain in the distance. Hard to believe on the horizon. You can see it from here.
Revan squints his eyes. He's a little bit blind from the sunlight that's dashing off of the waves in front of them. He's been peering out for since early morning for days, looking for sight of land.
Oh,
so Revan, he's in on it.
You've already hiccuped.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah, but he's barked out that he sees land, but Revan, closes his eyes and squints and peers and sees the little jut of land, and hope rises up in him. He turns around and barks an order to the crew: row now.
Staros,
very stout man, bearded, pointing with his, at that moment he grabbed his spear and is pointing toward the land and starts banging it on the side of the boat with cadence to row.
Okay.
Urging them forward.
So Matlock, Taro, Ren, and Dodge all hit the 4 seats, the row seats. You have some wind at your back with the sail, one mast sail, but they begin to row, which is going to pick up the knots a little faster. You might be going about 10, 12 knots now, right?
The boat to steady myself and grin into the foam as it splashes up in front of me.
Okay, and you're going to make your first Constitution save, my friend, against... Well, unfortunately, you've all been sharing the same drinking water out of clay jars in the hole, and well, when we do that, we tend to get, unfortunately, bacteria and E. coli in those clay jars. Okay.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, you are constitutionally fit. Okay. All right, Kelchawan, tell us about yourself.
Kelchawan, I imagine Kelchawan standing at the back of the boat. On the rudder.
Yes, there is a single rudder.
Yes,
beautiful.
Yes, and he's got his long-handled hammer there is leaning against the side of the ship, and as he's holding on to the rudder. He's a tall, lanky man with a top knot on his head.
Nice.
Peering at the oncoming land, quite happy to finally see land after so many days. He'll feel good to be on solid ground once again.
Now let's find out how important that is to you. Let's make that constitution check to see if you indeed are sick.
Okay, so under.
Yes, you just need to roll under your con. I don't know. I don't have it right in front of me.
I got a 10.
Okay. Is that
And I roll a 7.
nice?
Okay.
So fortunately, you guys are feeling pretty well. We'll have to worry about the others if it comes up later. But for now, you're feeling great. You haven't had a lot of illness. You've been able to fish. You've been able to eat hardtack and survive. But the reality is, it's getting low. So it's a good thing you've spotted this land, right?
Yeah, I've been spearing fish all the way there. So luckily,
Okay.
there's been wrong about.
Kelchuan is quite sick of fish and is looking forward to something meatier.
Something real. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so at 12 knots, you make pretty good travel. And Kelchuan, you've been watching east this day, and it has been a nasty brewing black sky following you, it seems, the whole morning. And now at midday, having seen this land, and by about 1:30 in the sky, the sun moving through the sky, you have reached the bay of this land. Stretches as far as you can see to the south and to the north, and this you can see this mountain miles off the shore, but it is so large that you spotted it miles out. And you are reminded by Steros that this is a deep-hulled ship. We cannot get too close to the shore. And he starts to let the row go and reach for the anchor. And you are watching this black violent sky brewing behind you, Kelchuan.
We have no other smaller craft.
Yeah, there is a six-man raft. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, fine. So I will suggest rather sternly that we those who are going ashore get to the raft, and we will
Okay.
put anchor down and
Okay.
head ashore.
So Steros drops the anchor, which is basically a large stone with a pretty thick rope wrapped around it in multiple layers and ways, and it drops overboard. As he lifts it, he gets help from Dodge. Dodge comes over with Rin, and all three of them lift this and drop it, and then go about getting the raft into the water. Again, Matlock and Taro are both crew members. They're not warriors. They're not landlubbers. They are hardy sea people, so they'll stay with the boat. But they're watching east, and you can tell from their countenance they are incredibly worried about this storm brewing that's been following you headed west. Right? It's maybe 3 or 4 hours out from hitting the boat, unless it dissipates or moves in another direction.
Right.
But it's coming.
It's a bad omen.
Is
We can get ashore.
Hopefully, the ship
Maybe.
will be able to ride out this storm.
Well, we need to find a cove to get Taro and Malik to find a cove to park it in, to have a little refuge.
Perhaps yes, that they can sail it around the edge of the bay there to the other side and see if they can find a cove that they can put it in for safety.
Dina,
We,
who is your longtime friend and cook, Kelchuan, she comes to you and murmurs she's anxious to get on land and, of course, is anxious to prepare real food. She would like to journey with you on this raft. Steros, of course, is telling you, Revan, that he would like to stay behind with the two crew, Malok and Taro. But, again, I will do whatever you bid.
what for, Steros? We need to fashion a lean-to.
Ah.
Woman, you have plenty of time to cook, too.
Okay. So he frowns a little bit, expressing to you he's concerned about the two lowly crewmates, but he nods in acceptance of your orders and begins
They're
to
capable
throw.
men.
He throws together your pack with your goods for travel, and they get the raft. Rin, Dodge, and Malok get the raft into the water, and Steros, Dina climb aboard. Rin and Dodge with their soldiers, so they are at your beck and call, and they of course have climbed aboard. And there's room for, of course, Revan and Kelchuan, unless one of you are staying behind with the boat.
No.
Okay.
I am more than ready to be ashore.
it is, as they begin to row, the two soldiers, Rin and Dodge, row you closer, you now begin to make out details as you approach the beach. The first strike is that this is black. The beach is black, charcoal black, as far as the eye can see in either direction. And you've never seen sand, black sand. This is the first thing that catches you. This ribbon of black beach sand as far as the eye can see. The jungle, as you're closing in, is thick. Again, not a lot of breaks in it, but you are seeing giant rolls of black rock that come down to the ocean. You're seeing giant outcroppings of black rock along the beach. But as you get closer, you're seeing now that this mountain, this gigantic mountain, is probably a day's march into the jungle. But this is the first thing that catches your eye. It is calm. It is beautiful, calm bay. You're catching at times a little blow of cold air. All of you recognize this probably is a little bit of the storm that's on the horizon. But it's beautifully calm right now. Kind of unsettling, maybe. Right?
I step onto the beach, and so this is paradise. And Todd, what's your character's name again?
Kelchuan.
I didn't write. Kelchuan?
Kelchuan, yeah.
This is paradise, Kelchuan. And I look at you and kind of smile. Wonder where our peoples stay. And I'm surveying the beach as I look around to see any signs of habitation. Or maybe something that we can
it's hard to make the heat rising off the water as you get in closer. You do see probably a mile north up the beach to your right. There appears to be a break, a shoulder of hills and mountains of green come all the way down. It's like a shoulder and plunges into the water, and that cuts off what you appear to catch a glimpse of as you're coming into the shore. What might be a cove on the other side of that, and another spire, a mountain that's much smaller than this one, but it has what appears to be like a black gaping mouth.
Right.
As you float in, you start seeing nets up in the water and clay jars submerged in the water as your raft calmly slides into the sand, and you make purchase. And you notice there's flitting fish. You're seeing just glimpses of the sun off fish that have been caught in these nets. There are clay jars submerged with holes in them, but no people. As Steros and Dina step off to help pull the raft up, the sand is, again, it's dark charcoal black, but it is fine, very fine. So as they tread, you see them leaving nice deep footprints. There's not large rocks or pebbles. There are large mounds of what look like hard rock, but these things are as big as houses, they're as big as huts, they're bigger than men. And then there are these rolling long rock columns that'll come right down to the ocean and plunge themselves into the ocean. The black rock.
Right.
Now, as you step off, those of you who do step off and drag the raft, you can see you're about 100 yards from the actual jungle line, and the sound is. You've been on the ocean for 43 days. It's been the water. It's been the sound of the sails. It's been the wind. Now it's this cacophony of animals and birds and squeals. And there is life here. And Dina looks and smiles at you, Quetzalcoatl. Oh, if we can catch something, we can eat better than we've eaten in a month. And she kind of quickly begins to find a spot on the beach to set up. And you both spot about 100 yards left, south down the beach, what appears to be a ruined, from here it looks like a ruined man-made, old house or something. You can't quite make out from this distance the details, but it's clearly out of place. It's got some form to it. You can't make out the details. And right directly west, as you're stepping off the boat and looking into the jungle, you see the mouth of two caves right at the jungle, buried in the green and overgrown are two cave mouths, almost side by side, almost again, I hate to go anachronistic here, but like the barrel of a shotgun, right?
Right.
These two mouths, right? And that's right now what you're overwhelmed with. Yeah.
Well, I tell Dina, yes, indeed, prepare for a meal. We'll have something rather soon, I hope. As I survey this scene, and I think maybe the caves might be in a place where there might be a lair of some animal that we could maybe feast upon. So
nice.
I'll ask Revan if you would like to accompany me on a hunt into these caves.
I'll look over and laugh. What do you think I brought Starro for? He can busy himself with that. It's to aid in the women's work. Yonder there, the house. We're looking for habitation for our peoples.
Starro's motions out with your pack of your items and says, do you want this, or do you want me to take it with me? This is your flint and tinder, your cape, your hood. Just
array it yonder. You know where the woman is, and I'll say, we'll gather up around there, and I'll take the cape, and to brace myself against the chill a little bit, slip it on, and say that, and then do see what you can wrangle up for her to cook for something, for her to cook for us men, and then I go yonder, and I'll point the spear toward the house.
Oh, toward the ruins. Okay, yeah, he affirmative, and he heads off, feet bearing deep in the sand. You can see as he runs toward these caves that the sand gives, and it's not easy running here. It'll slow you down a little bit, right, if you need to hoof it. But he's making his way toward those caves without question. Ren and Daj stand at arms with you and Ketchawan. Do you want to go with Steros? Is that your goal? Do you want to follow Steros, or?
I'm thinking with my stomach right now. I really do want something other than fish, so I am heading towards the caves. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm chuckling at Revan.
Okay.
Go look at your houses. I hunger for something of substance.
Okay. I throw my head back a little bit and laugh. I did not stay 43 days on this dreadful tide to come here empty and leave empty-handed.
You won't, my friend. You won't.
I expect a full stomach as well, too, when I get back.
Daj, being your soldier, follows you, Ketchawan. He's hot on your right hip, always stays about a step behind you on his right hip as he follows. And Steros has already got about 10 feet on you as he's stomping through this sand. Obviously, the sand is not, saturated with water here. You're well off the shoreline now, but it is deep, soft sand. And again, it soaks up the light, which means you can see better than you would anticipate. It's not reflecting off the sand into your eyes. You're actually seeing well. The noises get louder as you get closer to these caves in the jungle, and it is steaming with life. Revan, you're headed south to check out this what looks man-made, this man-made structure?
Okay. Absolutely.
Oh, you're both about
on the beach and do that.
Both groups are about the same distance from their targets. We'll go to Revan first. So, Revan, as you approach within about 25 yards, it's about 75 yards, about 25 you start to make it out. It's 4 pillars that stand approximately 18 feet high each. They're all separated by about 10 feet apart. There's 4 of these pillars. They are hewn from black stone. As you start to get closer, you can see they are clearly erected. They're man-made. Hanging from the top stone of these are long, thick, woven vines that are attached to the top block of these stones. The farthest pillar, the top stone is off. It is fallen at the foot, and that vine, of course, fell with it. And you begin to feel under your feet lumps, and as you step, step after step, you start to realize it's a bone here and a bone there, and then you realize that among these pillars are piles of bleached bones, and they are human remains, rib cages, skulls. Quickly, with an intelligence check, you can assess maybe roughly how many.
No.
Okay. Yeah,
I looked kind of aghast in astonishment, and a little bit of exhalation comes out of my body, and my spear hand drops down a little bit as I look at the desecration of my people.
Mm-hmm. The bones are bleached and old. I mean, it looks as though this is, if you're moving closer to them, you'll begin to see.
I'll step and take the spear and overturn some of them, somewhat reverently,
right,
as I'm looking through and trying to pick and see if I see any kind of iconography of our people, or pottery, or
yes. So etched paintings on the first column shows stick figures on this first column that are attached. It looks like literally a drawing of what you're walked into. Etched painting of 4 humanoids attached by these vines to these pillars. The second pillar depicts a giant beast that is devouring one of these stick figures on the pillars. The third pillar depicts the fishermen having great harvest, and piles of fish in the nets and piles of fish in their clay jars. And the final pillar is unfortunately unlegible. It's that pillar is in a bad way. The etched paintings are damaged. The top part of it has fallen into disarray.
Well, my hackles are up at the second pillar, and after I'll raise the spear back up and start.
Oh, he froze in.
That's all right. He'll be back, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not.
Sight, and I'm backing away. Hey. Can you hear any of that?
Yeah, well, you froze up there, but I get the gist of it. You're backing away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelchawan, Asteros beat you to the first cave by about 10 feet, and they are large. These are about 9 feet high. They're about 12 feet wide. They are overgrown with vegetation hanging over the mouths of these two. To the one on the left, as you approach, you quickly see it is caved under. It is a mouth by only 3 or 4 feet in. There is no going into it. But on the right, there is definitely a cave tunnel off underneath this vegetation. Steros stops and waits for you to approach, listening.
Right. And I think we should prepare a torch.
Yep. And you have torches. So, yes. Do you want to carry it? Do you want Steros to carry it?
Oh, I won't be carrying it. Okay. No, I have to be free with my hammer.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, let Steros is a non-combatant. So Steros will take the torch in hand, smiling.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And he peers under the vegetation, and then takes a step in, kind of leading the way. Ren will kind of get up beside him on his offhand, giving him some protection as they kind of take the first steps into the mouth of this cave. Revan, where are you headed now? You're just headed back to the cook, or across to where they're at?
Oh yeah, I need to go back to the cook for one. I'm kind of concerned about that aroma is attracting something as well, so I'm heading back in that direction.
Okay.
But I'm also side-eyeing their location and seeing where they are entering that place, because it could be a connection there.
Probably seeing Ketchawan just step in under these vines. They vanish basically as you're crossing diagonally back to where she set up a cooking pit, right, and trying to make some kind of makeshift camp here in the sand, right? Notice
there was somebody else with her, a man, right, that we left. Or she by herself?
Nope. Steros, Ren is with you because he's your soldier, right? Unless you want to leave Ren with her.
No, I told Ren to go to. No, I told Stalwart to.
Yeah,
Okay,
Steros went with and he took his soldier, but Ren normally would be guarding your right. He's your soldier, but you could have left him with her if you want to.
Okay, well, what I'm doing is, Ren, go tell Keltawan what we have seen. He may be walking into a maw of death.
Okay.
Yonder. Call it at the mouth of the cave. When you enter, be wary.
Okay. He turns to run, and again, you watch how feebly he runs in this soft, deep sand. Yeah. It looks, like he's really working to make any kind of speed. So Quetzalwan, as you pass through this, it's for the most part, it is not man-made. This looks completely natural. Black, hard stone in areas shines back the torchlight. It's smooth, but only in areas. There's a little bit of moisture where there's breaks in the ceiling, and you can see where roots of the jungle have come into this. You'll actually see areas where sunlight pours through holes. And so you can tell the jungle floor is right above you. But again, it's about 9 feet high.
Right.
You travel approximately 45, 50 feet, and it breaks into a larger room. And you hear Steros gasp, and he makes a couple of steps back in your direction. And you can see the shock, the horror in his eyes as he stands back to the cave wall, kind of opening a path for you to pass him if you want. And meanwhile, Dodge, who was on his offhand, doesn't see it. I mean, he doesn't respond as if he saw whatever Steros had seen when the torchlight hit it. But Steros is visibly shaken.
And I haven't seen whatever he saw.
No, not yet. You're just a few feet behind him, but he's
right.
stepped away up against the wall, so the torch is not illuminating the larger chamber.
Okay, I look at him quizzically. Mm-hmm. What is it, man? Speak.
It's some beast. There's some creature. I only made out the edges of it. It's large. And then he kind of hands the torch in your direction. Of course, your soldier, Dodge, snatches the torch away and steps in. You hear him, ha, ha, and you hear it echo. This little kind of laugh echoes through. Ah, Steros, you are a coward, man. And he calls you in, Telchawan, come see for yourself what he is so frightened of. Revan, as you're within distance now of Dina, your man arrives at the cave, and you hear echoing down the cave, Kelchawan, the yells and the cries from Rin, that there is, be very careful, there is evidence of some potential dangers here, and you hear this echo into the cavern behind you.
Right, but Steros has, Dodge has said that.
Yeah,
it's
your soldier.
Nothing really to be.
No, and he calls you into the chamber as he walks. Right. You see him walking around this thing. So if you enter the chamber, he'll
I will, because I'm thinking. Yeah, I mean, between Steros and Raven, they're overreacting to whatever's going on. Right. I trust my man Dodge, so I will step in and Chuck, what is it we have here now?
Right. As you step in, you see the torch, and it is indeed the remains of a once large, very large creature. It is the bones of a long dead beast of some kind. You can find old stone-tipped spears sticking in the rib cage, sticking around the skull. It is clear that they have someone at some point long past hunted this thing and extinguished it while it was either ill or while it was sleeping. But there are spears, but it's a rib cage. Make an influence check, intelligence check to maybe make out what kind of creature this might have been.
Ooh, no, I just rolled my intelligence, so okay. I'm not under. No.
Okay. It is, all you can tell is it is larger than a man. It is a giant creature. Can't tell if it was mammal or lizard or reptile. And then as you see Ren pass around it, kind of walking around it, flashing on the ceiling behind him are etched paintings on the wall.
Oh, okay. Well, let's investigate these paintings.
Okay. These are again crudely etched in, but also stained with what you don't know. But they are stick figures, and they are literally depicting what you're seeing evidence of: a group of warriors skewering a giant creature of some kind with spears. So it's almost like they took the time to paint upon the walls what they actually did.
Right.
Here.
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right.
There doesn't appear to be, and now some of these spears they're old and they have stone tips, not of any use. They would probably crumble to bits if you actually attempted to use them. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we'll search around this chamber, but it doesn't look like there's anything.
Right. If you want to, let's go ahead and make again another intelligence check here as you look around. Yep.
Okay. Yes, I got an 11. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So as you shift around this chamber, it is clearly what used to be its lair. Right. Evidence that it had other kills here, but there's no evidence that civilization resided here. There's no evidence that there were people living here. This had been its lair, right?
All right. And all this happened long ago.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking bones. There's no flesh.
Yeah.
There's no, some of the,
right.
it's been a long time. Yeah.
So I say to my companions, it doesn't look like we'll find anything worth eating here.
Right. And with that,
so let's go back.
And with that, as you're coming out of the tunnel, and Ren is standing at the mouth of this tunnel, you hear, Revan, as you're right onto Dina, about to approach Dina, you hear from the jungle screams, multiple screams, from west behind you in the jungle. And you hear these echo down into the cavern as you approach the exit, Quetzalwan, as you step out from under these vines, out back into the sunlight with your entourage, and standing there, Ren, at the mouth of the cave waiting. You see him spin around to these screams, and within 15 feet of him, two half-naked men come bursting from the trees. Revan, you would eventually turn to see what these screams are, I'm assuming, and they come sprinting out. One literally turns north and sprints by you in front, Quetzalwan, down the beach, and another one comes out of the trees and is running toward the shoreline, almost directly at Revan. Again, Revan's up almost 75 yards from you and from this guy. And leaping behind them from the jungle is a cat, bigger than a man, a giant spotted panther. And in 2 bounds, he is on the man that turned north and has this guy down in the sand and is disemboweling him. Quetzalwan, probably within 30 feet of you, 40 feet of you.
Oh, right. All right. Well, this man might be able to tell us something of this area. So, best to be kept alive. So I will try to intercede.
Okay. So let's go ahead and make an initiative check. This is initiative for everything until the scene is over. I've got a 3. You got to do better than that. You got to roll low. You want to roll low.
Rolling a 20?
Yep. Yes, sir. Everything's a 20.
Okay. Everything's 20? Okay, I rolled a 10.
Okay, so this panther has this man and he's literally disemboweling him, tearing him from limb to limb. You see now this panther is, again, bigger than a man, but very lean, kind of emaciated, and I don't know what you think of that, but it's starving to the point that it has not noticed the threats around it, like yourself. The other man stops dead. He's in front of you. So as you see the spotted leopard to your left, Quetzalwan, as you're facing the shoreline, Revan makes this guy runs almost 50 yards, and before with his neck twisted toward the panther, making sure he's not being chased, and he stops dead as he spins around and makes eye contact with Revan. He is about 5'3". He is wearing just a loincloth. You can see the tribal scarring upon his body. You can see the bones in his ears, small bones in his ears and nose. Revan, you're seeing this, and you can see his hair is literally cropped tight to his head. He's black hair, his skin dark from the sun, and he is also painted with either painting or tattoos. You don't know. And he sees you, and he stops dead. The horror on his face, though, is depicted in the fact that he's trying to escape this beast. But he is now within 25 yards of you, staring at you. He did not expect to see you here, right?
Yeah.
All right. And roll initiative here for you, sir, because this determines who even speaks first or goes first. 4 for me.
Okay.
What did you roll?
6.
Okay, so I've got initiative on both sides. All right, so we'll go to Ketchawan. So this panther starts to realize that you're there, Ketchawan. He gets to go first. He starts to try to pick this body up with his mouth and drag it back toward the jungle. He's having some success. He is large, but he's emaciated and clearly hungry.
Right. Okay. So he's just trying to drag him into the
Dead. Yeah, and this guy's clearly dead.
Okay.
His screams have died. He's
he's
expired.
Okay.
And there's one guy standing between you and Revan about 50 yards, about 25 yards from each of you. He's standing in the middle of the beach between you two.
Right. I don't see any need then to take on this panther if that individual's already dead. So
yeah, I mean he'll spit it out and he'll crouch and he'll roar at you as a warning. But it's clear he just wants to take his kill and retreat neat.
Yep. All right. Nothing to be gained by that then. All right. I will move towards then the individual that's near Revan.
All right. And this man sizes up the situation, glances back, sees the panther and your friends now at the cave mouth. And he looks, down the beach north. And you can, let's make an intuition check here, Revan, when he looks north.
Okay. 2. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, and you can tell in his countenance as he thinks about it, but then begins to run south down the beach toward the ruins, that direction. He starts to take off. And again, he's small, he's probably middle age. Right, but he takes off running, right? But you can tell from his countenance that he really thought hard about running north for some reason, but changed his mind and went south.
Yeah. Well, when he did, I'm kind of like jockeying for position to intercept him and arrest his velocity.
Okay, so make what's called an improvised action. This is going to be your dexterity at a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Because you're I'm assuming you're going to tackle him or grab hold of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I made it 4.
Okay, so you move quicker, faster, stronger as you are a warrior.
Myself,
and
tackling and ball him up across the.
And you realize as you do, he's this 5'3", tiny little middle-aged man. But he's not in any way a physical threat as far as you realize when you grab hold of him. Oh, he's kind of
but then
pathetic.
after I tackled him, and balled him up, rolling, I'm laying there and I'm looking at him, but I'm sizing him up.
Yeah.
Is he our people? Does he have?
Oh yeah, no. He's a human being. He is again. He has small bones in his nose, his ears. He is scarred from tribal scarring. You recognize this. You don't have these, probably, but you've seen evidence of this on your island, of some tribes. They mark their bodies by scarring their bodies as opposed to tattooing. And he's painted. He's painted in green and red, some kind of pigment. But he is a human being.
Tetsuan, I'll say. Yeah, well, I know he's a human being. I just wonder, like, tribally. But anyway, Jutechuan, I'll say, and shake him a little bit as I'm looking at his face to see if Jutechuan, the god of the people.
Yeah,
right?
let's make an influence check here.
All right. No.
Okay, he tries to squirm away. He's terrified. His eyes are he's snotting and spitting. He's absolutely terrified. He doesn't respond to that particular phrase, right? And
Yeah.
he barks at you, spitting utu utu utu.
Okay, I look up north to where he was looking at,
Yeah.
and I'll take his head and wrench it around in that same direction and point. What? In that direction, I keep pointing like that.
He
I don't
whimpers.
understand
You can feel his body shudder, and he whimpers in your hands. And then he tries to pull his head away and
Yeah.
look away. Utu, Utu, and Quetzalwan, you're seeing now. Revan is wrestling this native to the ground.
So I will approach and put my hand on this native's shoulder, just to make him aware that there is more than one of us who has him in our grasp.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I've overheard him.
You see him just breathe out heavily and sigh, and almost you feel his muscle relax as he gives up. Revan, you can feel he just kind of gives up under your weight, right? He's resigned to the fate of whatever this is going to happen to him, right?
Utu.
Yep.
He said Utu.
Yeah, he looks up. His eyes light.
When I say that,
Best he can, and he doesn't quite crack a grin, but he goes Utu Utu Utu, and his arms are pinned under Revan. You can see he's trying to pull his arms out, right, to motion.
all right. And
I got him, so I'll give him the arm bars of lift him up and stand him in front of.
Which is sadly incredibly easy because he's so small and little. And you flip him up on his feet, and he waves with his other hand. He hits his chest, Utu, Utu, and then he starts spewing his language. Let's both of you make intuition checks to see if you pick up this language.
No.
Critical success.
Yes? Holy cow. Yeah, so you start to tell this is definitely a dialect similar to your own people, but it is different enough. But you now
sped up a little bit, and
right, and clearly it'd be like the difference between Italian and Spanish. They're Latin-based languages, so it's like you share a certain base language.
There's an overlap there. Yeah,
you can make out quickly. I am Utu, so he's telling you his name, and he's telling you
Utu, and then I'll say Revan, and point to myself like that on my chest. Utu on him.
Okay, and he repeats that. And then he of course you're twisting his arm, so he's kind of trying to talk to you as you've got him armbarred, right? But he repeats Revan back, and then he looks at you, Kelchuan, as you were the one that said Utu first, so he believes you really, and he's rabbiting on about something. Right. Revan, you're picking up remnants that there is trouble coming from the jungle.
I'll raise up my other arm and gather the other men together around.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
And I'll shift Utu over to under Ren's guard.
Gotcha.
You hold him, and then tell Staros to stay with the woman. And I'll look at Quetzalwan. There's trouble that way. And glance Utu and back to
and by the way, though, he's pointing west into the jungle, not north down the beach.
Yeah, there's something coming out of the jungle.
He's pointing into the jungle, but you pick it up. He's rabbiting on about he uses words that you kind of make out, but as he says these words, they're making some sense. But as he motions eating, cannibals. You're able to put together, cannibals.
Yeah, but I'm pointing to north.
Correct.
I'll look at him now. North. Home, I'll say our language for home.
Yes, and he responds with their version of it, which is close to yours.
Now there's a cannibal word toward the north, and then west,
right?
And then,
and he responds to all of it. He's this point now, smiling because he realizes that you understand it.
You understand, yeah,
right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I think we need to break camp and go to where he is, where his home is.
Yes. Okay. I will make Ferdina.
Okay.
And instruct her to stop what she's doing. Quickly pack up. We must leave.
And she had fished out of their clay jars enough fish to feed all of you well. So she piles all of these fish, in her in a clay jar and is prepared to carry this. So she had fished out of the ocean something to at least to feed you guys. Right. So she's got some fish in one of their jars. And they fall in line. They all fall in line. All right. And if you allow him, he'll lead the way. He tries to get out in front and kind of lead the way. And he's pointing. He's pointing closer to the shoreline. Remember the mountain chain or the hills poured into the ocean like a shoulder into the ocean of green mountainous. And he's headed more toward the shore. And as you get there, he leads you through a little break between the roaring ocean waves that are hitting rocks and through and under some of this overhang around this shoulder of hilly terrain. And in about an hour or so, you come out on the other side in a cove, a beautiful, calm cove. And he stops and points across the cove to the spider-like mountain with this gaping cave mouth that's probably 25, 30 feet high. A lot of overgrowth hangs over and kind of conceals it, but you can see it's a cave mouth. And he smiles and says, home, home. And he's leading you now around the Black Beach Cove to the other side of the cove.
Here's the trails that I wanted to tell Kelchuan on the beach yonder that I went to investigate. It seemed a sacrificial temple to where hundreds of bleached bones lay about, and hip braided rope to offer in sacrifice to some beast.
And he acknowledges as you speak to him. Yes, Chief Kudo. Chief Kudo will explain.
I'm telling Kelchuan, Todd.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Just on the side, so gotcha. I'm not telling him directly.
Okay. All right. So I'll describe to him the bones of the creature that we found in the cave.
Gotcha.
Putting two and two together, that this was probably the creature that was being sacrificed to in ancient times. So we don't have to worry about that particular creature anymore.
Right. It seems that Jutechuan took them to paradise.
When he hears this, he stops. Utu stops and he said, "Jutuan, yes." And he looks into the heavens toward the jungle, west toward the big mountain, and smiles at you and kind of comes over and touches your shoulders, looking up at you as if you understand something greater, right? And he says,
"Chief, I go back at him and put my hands on his shoulders." Yes, take us to your chief.
Right. So he leads you around the cove. It's pretty large, and you're starting to hear now the rumbles of the storm. You're starting to see lightning. It's dry lightning. It's in the clouds, and you're starting to feel the cool air and the wind pick up. Utu doesn't blink at what's coming. Right? He's excited. He leads you around. As you all approach this cave mouth, it is probably 100 feet wide at the base, and it's a cave mouth that kind of comes up to a point, probably 25, 30 feet high, and there's lots of hangover. But as you get there, there is a mass of women there, and some teenage girls. All are armed with spears and stone spears. Some of them are guarding this cave entrance. Utu orders them out of the way, and they'll make without, but they all mouth agape. You are not dressed or visibly like anybody they've seen, so they are surprised to see you come in. They're very curious, and you see now as you come into the darkness of the cave that their entire village is in this cave, which is I don't know how deep, but it houses probably 20 huts on the floor of this village. And then you can see built into the rock walls at the back of the cave are stone homes, where obviously the hierarchy of individuals live. And you pass through this village, you see few men, you see some teenage boys and some young kids, and you see mostly women guarding the cave. And he takes you to a stone ladder and tells you Chief Kudo there, and he points up to the highest cave shelter, and points to this literally ladder that is carved into the stone rock that you have to ascend to go up.
Oh, okay.
Both of you make an intuition check for me as you're passing through this village, taking in what you're seeing.
No.
Okay. So he points up and he motions, and he takes the rungs of this carved ladder into the rock face. And again, this is all black stone, dark black stone. And he begins to ascend this stone ladder, and he'll look back and beckon you to follow. Right. So Steros, Dina, everybody, they look up. The two soldiers look up and they look to see if they're going.
I'll climb, saying that the others should wait at the base of the ladder.
I'm not waiting at the base of the ladder. I'm going up
Chechuan's going up too?
From
Okay.
you.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Aside from you, but gesture toward them.
Okay. Is there any particular orders you want to give Staros or Dina while they're down here?
Just to rest and keep guard is what I'm giving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't make any
be
sudden
back,
moves. Don't make any sudden moves with these people.
Okay. As you ascend this ladder and you look to your left, you'll see where it can step off into other stone homes. There are people there. They're watching almost in shock. Who are you people? And you're larger than they are. I would say you all are bigger than they are. And they, some of these have men in them with children and women, the families. Some of them are just a woman there working, grinding cornmeal or something. But eventually you get to the top and you step off, and sitting in the center of this stone chamber, which is clearly their domicile, is the person Utu bows to and introduces as Chief Kudu. Behind him stand what appear to be 4 young men, anywhere from 13 to 24. And what appears to be his wife and 2 young, maybe daughters, right? They all stand behind him. As there don't appear to be any guards here. There don't appear to be anybody protecting him, right? I mean, you stand up right before him, and he's sitting there in the middle of this on a, basically a panther fur or something as a seat.
Right.
And I left my spear down before I took the climb. But I'll bow to him and gesture, like, is it all right to take a seat?
Let's make a initiative. Remember, we do initiative for all encounters, combat or not. 12 for me. Everybody. Yep.
19.
What did you get, Del?
11.
Okay, so Revan, that means you get to speak first. You get to go first. And if combat were to break out or something else, you get to go first. Kudu,
No, I left my... Yeah.
Go second, and Kel Chuan will go third. Okay. So you said, you introduce yourself. You said you bow and introduce yourself.
Yeah, and I gesture toward, like, is it okay to take... You said he was sitting down.
Yes, so he extends a palm up and motions. He doesn't say anything. And Utu, you notice, stands... never looking at him, right? He just stands to the whole left of the entire situation and just stares kind of at the floor.
I glance at Kelchuan. and take the seat.
Okay.
To follow in suit, of course.
I see. Yes. Well, I will.
And Kudo then turns to Utu and says, as you can understand, Revan, let's make another intelligence check here, Kelchuan, as you're starting to hear both of them exchange language now, and maybe you can start to pick up that they're speaking your language. With advantage.
Yes,
you'd roll 2 dice with advantage. Okay, you did. So you're now starting to pick up, I understand how Revan is making sense of this now. It shares the same base language as yours. And he tells Utu to go down and speak to Otha. And so Utu doesn't respond. He immediately scatters over to the stone ladder and begins to descend. He doesn't look at either one of you. If you happen to watch him, he doesn't make eye contact with either one of you. He is down that ladder, and his head disappears below the edge. And then Kudos looks again at you, Kelchuan, and says, Utu brings you to me? What? Who are you? What are you
The
about?
tide brought us. The tide brought us, and we are from the nation. I got to pull this up.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. For them.
Yep.
We are from the nation of Fordam.
Yeah, he
43
repeats that back,
days.
but he doesn't leave. He leaves the off for Dea, and he nods, and he begins to rabbit, and start telling these tales of Fardom from their culture, and you can pick out of this rabbiting on about this legend that he knows, right? That it's reminiscent of kind of the reverse legend that you've heard from your chief before you were sent on this journey. However, he smatters.
While he's doing this, I'm shaking my head and then like in agreement, matching up and kind of leaning into him a little bit, and I'll grab his hand from time to time. Yes, in agreement. From there, our peoples, and then anyway, I'll let him do his speech.
Yeah, well, and he acknowledges, and he looks at you, Kelchuan, at times to see if you interject. He'll kind of pause, but pretty much rabbits on, and you pick up Jutuan, and you hear him mention a similar god. It's not quite your god, but it is again, it sounds closely resembles your god. And in this rabbiting, he talks about Jutan sending you to bring back our god Volos. And you start picking up that he thinks that you have been sent here to bring back their god, Volos.
Oh. Where is Volos? I ask.
And he looks, and he says, Volos was lost to us. And he many suns ago. And we have been cursed since. Volos.
Kelchuan while he's talking.
Yeah. And he explains to you, Volos must be brought back, or we will not survive. We have been cursed. However, we are not allowed to slay the beast to allow you to bring back Volos. We cannot do this. And you start to pick up that he wants you to slay some beast before Volos can be brought back.
Right. And where would we find this beast?
Volos waits.
He shudders.
The hell with that.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Volos. I'll interject. Volos waits. We were indeed sent by Volos to bring you back to him. He doesn't come to you. Mm-hmm. You go to him to paradise. And that's why I said I glanced at Kelchuan. I'm trying to influence him to believe that they need to man their...
Let's make an influence check.
vessels.
Make an influence check.
Oh my God. No. 17.
He frowns, shakes his head. No, Volos must be restored to us. We are cursed. Volos must be restored to us here. Now.
First, we need this beast. He holds a curse on you.
No.
But to lift your curse.
There is a beast to retrieve Volos. So he interrupts and he tells you no. There is a beast that must be slain so we can retrieve Volos and restore him to power.
Yeah, but the way I'm understanding it,
right,
the beast holds the curse over you. I'm saying this more of a proclamation.
Right.
We shall eliminate the beast and bring you back to Volos. Have my cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
Bring you back to Volos. And so I say it with like, I know what has, been manifested in front of me, this knowledge. And I lean into him a little bit. I want to try to, at least from this angle, convince him.
Okay, so then you failed the first one. So let's take a second influence check at disadvantage. So roll 2, take the worst roll.
Gotcha.
Right? So you take the highest roll. Kelchawan, do you want to add to this conversation?
What I want to know is how these... first of all, what do they call these cannibal people? And how they might be...
the cannibal people, Hatos. So if you ask him about the cannibals, he looks at you as Revan is trying to inspire him to his train of thought. When he hears you ask about the cannibals, he looks over at you in horror. The Hatos. The Hatos are another problem, but they are a problem. They are a problem we must deal with. But they are not the beast that keeps us from restoring Volos. What did you roll there, Revan?
It's funny with disadvantage.
Yeah, he turns back and he says, "We must restore Volos before anything." So he's just determined to restore Volos first. At least what he says Volos is. You may not agree with what Volos is, but he certainly does not agree with where you're saying Volos is, right?
Yeah, but that still doesn't. It doesn't sweeten my pot. It leaves us just putting our necks in a thing just for him to stay here.
Right. But I believe. But you were sent. Juton clearly sent you to do this for us. Do you not see it?
Juton sent us to bring you back to paradise.
I must.
If you don't want to, if you want to stay here with your cannibals and with your curse, you damn your people.
So he thinks on that for a second, and then he says, "I must talk to my shaman, and then we will talk again in the morning. Go. We have very little to eat, and you may have noticed that they all appear to be slightly malnourished, right? You don't notice many men around here at all. Well, they may be out fishing or hunting, who knows? But and they are not super healthy here. But he offers you what they do have, right? And then I will take audience with my shaman, and I will talk to you again in the morning."
We have that fish that Dina had brought from the beach,
right?
So maybe we can share that,
right,
with these folk.
Okay, and as you conclude this, as he waves you off, and he sparks to one of his, what you think is one of his oldest, maybe his oldest son, and you hear him ask for Otho, who is clearly his shaman, and the boy is down the stone ladder very quickly past you as you get up to leave. But you hear now the storm, and you notice as you stand to look over the whole village from his suite, right, that all of the women that were guarding the front have retreated back into the huts, into the cave. You can see the overgrowth of the vines in front of the cave blown, and you can hear the raging storm outside the cave. It's hit the cove, it's hit the beach, and you can recognize from this.
Johto is what I'm proclaiming when I'm going down this. Yeah, I'm seeing this. I'm spreading the rumor that they've angered Johto. They're not coming back to paradise.
Oh, okay. So let's definitely make an influence check here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say it every day.
And with that, he comes to the edge, and he watches, and he looks at you, and he shakes his head, and then he says, "Otho, I will speak with Otho, but this can't be. That is not what is written." And he steps back, talks to his wife and his kids, as you guys descend this stone ladder. As you get to the bottom, you see his son leading this, lack of a better word, what appears to be a madman. He is a large bone in his earrings, in his lips, in his nose. He is scarred deeply from tribal scars. He wears a plumage of feather crown around his head, and as he passes to ascend the ladder, you can put two and two together that this is probably Otho, the shaman, right?
Release your curse, Otho. Come back to Jotho. Is that his name?
Jutuan, whatever, it doesn't make. I know what you're talking
Jutuan.
about. Right.
Jutuan. Come back to Jutuan.
Yeah, he hisses. He hisses.
Talk to your...
Yeah. He definitely does not like what you mean to them, right? You are a bad omen, you. So he hisses at you and doesn't speak.
I bring the bad on.
Right. He believes you have brought this. Right. You have brought this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but
Right.
the truth will be made manifest, so that we'll find out in short order, All
right.
But anyway, I'm hearing that carriage and that countenance upon me as I'm just walking through, making proclamations,
Right.
of damnation and whatnot that they could be sitting on if they don't leave the island with us.
Right.
We were sent by Jothos as emissaries to rescue them and bring them back to paradise, to leave everything that they're facing, the cannibals and this and that. So I'm gonna be a bit of a preacher,
Right.
as I'm walking through the village,
Right. Yeah.
to spread the rumor and
Okay.
pressure.
And they gather around. I mean, you've sat with their chief. They're not scared of you. They're more curious about you. They're all, again, maybe inches shorter than you, smaller, diminutive. Most of them are women. Some of them are clearly lack men, right? So they're very attentive. Some of these women. And Dina joins with the women, and they begin to cook a feast. You spend the night eating fish cooked in every possible way, but it's unfortunately fish, as you've been living on. And you get through the night, and you hear tells. You hear tells from the women about what's been happening. You start to get more into the night, eating and drinking, and you start to pick up much of what's been happening. That they have been cursed since Volos was killed by their ancestors, and you begin to put two and two together that this curse goes back to the ancestors who slayed the beast in the cave. So now they feel they are cursed for murdering the beast in the cave.
Beast,
right?
Yeah.
But the beast that they're now dealing with, they cannot fish, they cannot hunt, because there is a beast in the jungle that is now their main concern, and it eats the Hotos and destroys and devours the Hotos as much as it does us. And so you get all of this through the night, feasting. Early morning hours, as everybody ultimately fast asleep, those of you who are sleeping. Also, the storm breaks and dies. Somewhere in the early morning, it is past, the big storm outside. If there's anything you want to do or stay up and do or something like that, speak up. If not, we will assume after lots of fish and hearing of tells. Right.
Yeah, I'll rest.
Yeah.
I paraded myself as a male specimen they could look forward to meeting if they take the journey. You know
so you're telling them the tell of your homeland.
For the women, sisters.
Right.
The women. But anyway.
So they've heard the tells of your homeland and that you're here to rescue them. You're here to take them away.
Oh, yeah, to paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, let's make another influence check with advantage on all of these people that you have been telling your tell to. With advantage, you get to roll again if you succeed. You don't have to roll again. If you don't, you get to roll again.
Yeah, well, I actually got a 4 and a 5, so they both succeeded. So.
All right, so the next morning, you awaken to a lot of commotion around you and around as Otho leads Kudos into your little makeshift camp there in the middle of the village where you all slept. And he looks at you and he tells you, Othos has seen it. He saw it in the night, a vision. You are to slay the beast and bring back Volos. Volos on the mountain spire must be recovered, but to do so you must rid us of this beast. That is what he has foreseen. Meanwhile, you don't have to say anything, as many of the people you spoke to last night speak up and say, we don't have to stay here, we don't have to endure this, we can leave. And so he begins to realize that you have unduly influenced many of his people in the middle of the night, or during the feast.
Authority, yeah, and I'll just make broad sweeping gestures toward the crowd that gather around, like, look, are your people not even your people are aware of this, and they want to escape this, and that's when I'll speak up. I can't even pronounce that. You're pulling that on me like I do on you. Juchechuan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your
Juchechuan.
version. That's your version of
Yes.
Jutuan, right? Their version's Jutuan, yours is, yeah.
Exactly. It's a little bit, but I'll still say it like that. He calls you near to paradise, into the bosom of paradise. You come with us. Build your rafts.
Okay. So
leave this place.
he calls a council, and believe it or not, they take a vote, and he is greatly outvoted. But being the kind of chief he is, he accepts what his people want. You also notice during this council tribal village vote, there are more men here at this hour than there were when you came in yesterday afternoon. So some of the men obviously returned or were lost in were lost somewhere riding out the storm. But there are more men here. Not enough for all of these children and all of these women. So there have been many lost men. One of their clearly leaders, warriors, comes to you and says, we are to do this, but we will not be free to build rafts and create seaworthy vessels with this beast stalking us. We can't hunt, we can't fish with this beast stalking us. How are we to build rafts and boats with this beast stalking us?
Yes. Let us take out this beast for these people, Raven. Be done with it, and then they will be free to come back to our land.
All right. It seems that you want to put your neck in a noose soon.
In a beast's mouth.
If you want. In the
Seems
maw
you want
of
to
a
be
beast.
dinner for a beast.
Think of the glory we'll gain by defeating this creature.
Yeah, I mean, this warrior stands before you, this diminutive, emaciated, starved, very proud warrior, and tells
People are
you want us to build rafts. We can't. There's no way.
People are misled.
Right.
You bring us, you bring us what we require. There's enough enough craftsmen here to facilitate a sturdy ship that will go alongside ours, a raft. So I'll try that.
Okay, so you want to
set up
build
a perimeter
Okay.
and do that in the cove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the cove where the other ones, and just bring the materials.
Okay. So as you do this, first day they're collecting materials, they're beginning to hammer and build. Let's make. Who of you here is capable of building a seaworthy vessel?
Well, the two that were in the vessel in the first place were seamen.
Right. But among you and Kelchawan, Steros, Dina, who here can give advice on how to build a seaworthy ship that you're
I think I can.
Okay. Let's make a Well, let's see here. Let's No, we're not going to make a check at all. We're going to you're going to tell us how we're going to build that vessel. Right? So how are we going to build that vessel, Kelchawan?
We got to know.
How are we going to build that vessel? Well, with the knowledge of my forefathers, I will impart that upon them in all the details that
Nice.
Quechua knows of how to.
Nice.
All they have to do is get felled timbers and those hemp, the braided rope.
Is that all?
Yeah, and then tie them together
Okay.
and whatnot.
Okay.
Put some duct tape.
So they spin.
I'm thinking Kontiki,
Right, right.
that
ride on top of the waves, right?
That's right. That's
so
right.
let's do this. Let's make both of you make 2d20 rolls.
Yeah, that's all.
Right, 2d20.
Jacked up this.
And let's add them up.
2d20.
9
for each.
That's all together.
Oh,
9.
I got an 8.
8. Okay, so 17 days and 17 nights, or 17 days really. They work crafting not one large vessel, but smaller Kontiki type rafts.
Yeah.
You have inspected them. You have declared that they are seaworthy.
Seaworthy.
I'm assuming you have told them they need to get into the cove and pile what belongings they can and what food for at least the 40-something days that you were on the ocean heading to this island or to this land, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And let's just make one final check here at disadvantage as you have, and I'm assuming the 17 days you've brought your ship into the cove, right? You've employed all of your people to help build these things, right? Your two,
We needed a guard to
Right.
keep the beast at bay.
And ironically, in the 17 days, you have not seen the beast. However, you have seen men not come back, and you've seen women who went out to forage not come back. So the evidence over 17 days of the beast is they're not coming back, right? Yeah. So they've dwindled down.
But is that the beast or is that the Hatos?
Correct.
That's been taken.
Yeah, you don't know, but you know many have not returned. So they've been able to erect enough for what's available. But the reality is, you have watched probably 25% of what remained here in this village when you arrived is no more. But you have not been bothered by it, and you have not seen hide or hair of such a thing, nor have you seen the Hatos, right, in the 17 days. So let's go ahead and make our intelligence checks. Both of you make with disadvantage to see how many of these ships or these boats will float.
Ooh, I rolled a 1 and a 9, so I am under on both.
Nice.
I am over on both.
Okay, so that's gonna give us a pretty good idea that roughly as you make way for home, right? Days, weeks, hours. Some of them make it, some of them sink, some of them, survive. But ultimately, in 45 days, 50 days of hard sailing, you will arrive back at your home in Faradum. Unfortunately, your arrival to this village that needed your help has been waylaid to about 30% of what's left. But you've saved 30% of what's left of these people and brought them to your home. But it was an epic cost for their village and lives. But they are arrived here. They see your island. There are no great jungles here. There are no great mountains like the mountain that they lived under. No black sand beaches. These are beautiful golden beaches. Their chief and shaman meet with your chief. Your chief takes you aside and thanks you for such a voyage and for bringing some of our people to us. But what of the grand treasure did you bring us? That too was one of the things we were hoping to gain from this venture, was a great treasure.
The treasure is what you look upon.
That's right.
This people.
Our ancestors.
They will bring you,
Right.
our ancestors. And it will please our God. And in turn, he will provide. And, that's where I'll look at, even though in my heart, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking about all the people that
We're
fell
lost.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, fortunately, Todd made both his rolls, so we had a good percentage survive, but your failing wiped out what was left. But,
Oh, yeah,
right,
yeah.
so ultimately, very nice success. And we would draw the curtain here on this little story. If we picked up in the future to play these characters again, it would be another place, another time, a different chronicle, right? That's Man versus Beast. And we did it without any combat, which is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to not get. Combat can be rough.
Oh no, yeah. When David said he couldn't make it, I almost canceled. I thought I don't think just two of you can survive. You know what might be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just for having the sake of combat, but if it would have broke through, I thought that.
But
Panther, first I thought they were could be cannibals themselves or could be attacking us because in my mind I was leveling the spear. I was about to say I throw it, and then you said it jumped on him, and I'm like, what's going on here?
right.
So that was a little bit of at least I stayed my hand long enough to be logical about it. You don't have to just shotgun with a hobo on it.
No, God no, hell no. I mean, you don't have to at all. You guys did what you wanted to do. That's what role playing is. I rolled to see if the beast showed up on any of those, days, and it didn't show up at the cove, but it was obviously devouring, some of their people along the way. Or the Hotos. Again, Todd said it best. Or the Hotos were killing many of the people. We don't know. You never saw.
Yeah.
Right. It's pure speculation, but the lack of them returning. Right. Yeah. But
we could always go back.
Of course. Too. Well, I have a feeling your chief would send you back because you didn't come back with the treasure that he wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
He's like, this is nice and all, but these are more mouths to feed.
People are nice. Yeah. Great.
These are more mouths to feed. What the hell?
Yeah.
Right?
Thanks. Right? Yeah.
But we did that in 80 minutes, and again, the game is designed to be a one-off 60 to 90 minutes and hard stops.
Right.
So if we hit 90, if you were in the middle of building these rafts and we hit 90. We draw the curtain. We don't know the loose ends. We would just pick up in the next session in a whole nother place doing a whole nother thing. Right? So I actually write in the book, don't sweat loose ends. We don't care.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a just balls out high adventure. Now we didn't necessarily get into high adventure here, but you don't have to. It went the way it went. So But I did prepare Utu and the village. Right? And I prepared the beast, and I prepared, but that's it. I have anything I need monster wise already in the book, so I don't need to prepare.
Right.
And I had that base set. The beach was all I prepared. I prepared the beach. That's it. So I basically said on the beach are these caves, these pillars, and the village with the Utu. That was it. I'm not going to prepare what you do or where you go beyond that, right?
Yeah. Very nice.
So,
man, I thought that what was perplexing is when I saw the bleach bone, I knew it had been there at the time.
Yeah.
But I was thinking it was our own people, our own ancestors sacrificed themselves to the god. And
which Kudos explained, his ancestors murdered Volos that they used to sacrifice their people to for plenty harvest. So the pillars were telling you that they used to sacrifice for great harvest, which would kept their people happy and healthy. However, at some point, his ancestors, your ancestors, chose to kill the beast, but that cursed them, right? That's what they believe, right? That's again, this is oratory legend, right? Right. So I mean, that's all I had was okay. They've got their problem, and that's you can deal with it or not deal with it, or deal with it the way you dealt with it, which was rescue them from their own making. They clearly didn't feel they could slay the current beast, and they were under some delusion they could bring back Volos, which his ancestors they stabbed to death in the cave and painted on the walls, which liberated them from the sacrifice. Right? So you guys discovered what used to be, but the chief believed that they're in the state they're in now because their ancestors had killed the god Volos, right? So in a way, you
Yeah.
came to it with a more modern thinking. No, that's horse shit. We just got to get you out of here, right? Which makes sense, right?
Well, I'm just in a way that I felt like he was tied there to try to pay off some kind of a debt that he didn't need to. He could escape
Well, yeah,
from.
in a way, he probably thought that, right? As a myth or an oral legend, probably, yeah. But he believed as a chief he had to save his people, so he thought this was the way to do it. But yeah, it's
Yeah, but see, what we knew was we was trying to bring back our people, ancestors, to bring back paradise. Died like number one.
right.
You know,
Hey, is that David?
Hey guys.
What's up, brother? You got it's over, man. You got here just as
Over,
it
man.
ended.
That's right.
Well, I
Thanks
saw
for
you
coming
guys
out.
were on, so I figured I'd
That's
jump
awesome.
in just to listen to the last few minutes or whatever.
That's
I know.
awesome. Well, I'm happy you could make it, my friend. Yeah, I mean, again,
Yeah.
designed to go 60 minutes to 90 minutes, and they got done in 80 minutes. Pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right,
They wiped out a civilization. They saved about 30% of them, but they did all right.
Okay.
No, actually no, because many of the civilization was already decimated before they found them.
Oh, so it was an uphill battle, huh?
So they saved what was left of what was
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
that's
fun.
noble.
Yeah. Man
That's
v
cool.
Beast, and they never encountered the Beast. That's
No?
pretty good. No,
Oh,
Oh no,
no.
no,
that's
no,
cool.
no, no.
Godzilla versus Kong.
We were doing an evacuation.
This was like a Godzilla movie where you never see Godzilla.
No Godzilla.
Right, no Godzilla, man. What the hell? No Godzilla. I sat for an hour and a half through that, no Godzilla.
That
All I
King
saw
Kong
was-
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All I saw was footprints.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
something
right.
like that.
It's like,
did.
It's like Bigfoot was.
they
yeah.
discovered those types of things. That's right. Yeah. Well, you saved them though. That was
Yep.
fun.
It was
That's
a
important.
cryptid.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for doing it. That's the first public session of this. Very cool.
Nice.
Very fun.
We can say we were
appreciate
there.
it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was fun, guys. And then next week we're doing Joth, right, Todd? We're on track?
Yep. Back Joth next week. Yep.
Sweet,
So-
sweet.
Yeah.
Vampires.